Hello, everybody, and welcome to Internship Week. We are so glad that you're here today. We have an illustrious speaker, Jessica Hemington. She joined Blue Shield of California in August of 2019. She is an internship program manager on the talent mobility team. Jessica has previously worked in recruiting and human resources for mobile gaming, entertainment, and startup companies in the Bay Area. She has supported and run university recruiting programs at Pocket Gems and Dolby Laboratories. She loves working with students and helping them with their first steps in their careers. Outside of work, Jessica loves spending time in the mountains with her family and dogs, hiking, skiing, swimming, and biking. You're really active, Jessica. That's great. She has just completed getting her master's degree from University of Arizona in human resources management. Welcome, Jessica.
Thank you so much, Jan. It's great to be with all of you guys. It's really cool you're having an internship week. Thank you for the introduction. I'm assuming most of you guys have heard of Blue Shield, but I'd love to tell you a little bit more about us and talk about our internship program today. So who are we? Blue Shield is an independent member of the Blue Shield Association. We are a nonprofit healthcare plan dedicated to providing Californians with access to high quality healthcare at an affordable price. What makes us different? So, there's lots of healthcare and insurance companies out there, and I'm sure you're probably wondering what makes us different than our competitors. As a nonprofit healthcare plan, we have no stakeholders. Our most important goal is the fulfillment of our mission. And we are always trying to improve the quality of care while controlling the rising costs. To do our part to make coverage affordable, Blue Shield of California has made a pledge to limit our net income to 2%. And in 2019, we gave back over $120 million to our communities. So we have a pretty ambitious goal. Our goal is to create a healthcare system worthy of our family and friends. That's our North Star, that's our purpose, that's our calling. To achieve this goal, we're really trying to challenge what's possible. We believe that healthcare should be the center of our communities, so we're investing in new services and technologies to improve the healthcare experience and put the health and well-being of everyone first. To do this, we have 5 prime strategies that represent how we are trying to achieve our North Star, which you can see. The first is to create a personal, high-quality experience, serve more people, be financially responsible, be a great place to do meaningful work, and stand for what's right. So I have a couple of videos I'm going to show you guys. The first one is coming up. Uh-oh. Am I not able to play videos?
You should be able to do it, Jessica. I don't know why.
Okay, let me try the next video. Let's see if this one works.
We have video, but no audio.
Oh. Okay, let me try resharing my...
Yeah, in the options when you share a screen, Jessica, there's a section where it says with audio.
Okay, I think I just re-clicked it here. I'm going to start the video over if I can. What about now?
Yes.
I just feel passionately that all of us have an obligation to leave this world better than we found it. That's why I chose to get involved in healthcare.
This is an organization that is very purposeful and really riveted around doing work of real meaning.
you can really engage with your work here and how you can find a sense of community, not only within the company, but also with the communities you serve, which is something that is very unique.
Everyone has a very open mind. Everyone comes from different background and experiences.
I am very much able to authentically be myself and feel very comfortable in these spaces while still doing really amazing work.
Blue Shield really does support employees and encourage employees to give back to the community. They give us 24 hours every year in volunteer time so that we can choose events that are important to us.
If you believe in the values of helping your neighbors, your family, Blue Shield of California is a great place for that.
We feel strongly that we need to be doing our part to help make the community as healthy as it possibly can be.
If you are someone who is mission-driven and who really wants to make a difference in a collaborative and dynamic environment, Blue Shield is the place for you.
People come here not just for a paycheck, but because they want their professional life to have meaning. I think there's this sense of that's really possible in this place.
You guys enjoyed that. So some fast facts about us. We've been around since 1939. We have about 7,500 employees, 4.5 million members that we serve in California. And that so far we've given back over 11.3 million to our community. That was, I believe, in 2020. Yeah. So like I mentioned before, our members come first, and we're always thinking about them when we make all of the decisions here at Blue Shields. We provide health, dental, vision, Medicaid, and Medicare services for more than 4.4 million members in California. So as I mentioned earlier, we are always trying to be a great place to do meaningful work. And 88% of our employees have said this is a great place to do meaningful work. And we were awarded that certificate this past year, which is something that we're always extremely proud of, and is always something that is a part of our strategy within every business line here at the organization. We've also won quite a few other awards too, which you can see on the screen here, and that was just in this past year alone. Oops. So for Blue Shields, diversity and inclusion are really strategic imperatives that we are very passionate about here. We make it a practice to seek diverse candidates slates when promoting and recruiting at all levels. And this is just a breakdown of our employee demographics here. We have many employee resources group here at Blue Shields, and these are great opportunities for employees to get involved in community outreach, education and development, networking, and it's really just a great way for employees to connect with each other and amplify each other's voices, which I think is really special. Here are a few that we have. Asian Pacific Alliance, Black Employee Network, DREAM, Elevating Women. And then we have Operation Vet, Shield Pride, and Unidos. Obviously, we are a healthcare company, so we do offer lots of great perks for our employees. We offer medical, dental, and visions. HMO and PPO options are available. 401k, we match dollar for dollar up to 4% of your contributions each pay period. We have flexible spending accounts, which you can use tax-free money to pay for eligible healthcare for you or anyone on your plan. And then we have various different well-being resources, Teledoc, which is really cool, something that I think has really taken off with COVID, fitness reimbursement, Wellvolution, nurse help, and health management programs. We also offer paid time off and sabbatical leave, which is pretty cool. And then commuter tuition and adoption programs. I think Jan mentioned in my introduction that I just got my master's degree. I did that through Blue Shield, and Blue Shield paid for me to get my degree, which was really incredible. So kind of why I'm here today to talk with you guys. Career mobility is something that we really value here at the organization, and we believe in leadership at all levels. So when you become an employee with us, we offer lots of different tools for growth and development and different programs for employees. Obviously, internship program is kind of aimed at developing leadership and talent at the entry level, but we have tons of other programs that are aimed at different employees at different levels in their career, different stages. We also really are investing heavily into like internal first and building our relationships with different universities, which has been a lot of fun. So here is a little bit of information about our internship program. It's a 10-week program. It'll kick off June 12th and wrap up August 13th this year. We always have a really good mix of graduate and undergraduate students. We are expecting 50 plus interns this summer, and we're pretty much right in the middle of recruitment, with really looking to wrap things up by the end of March, possibly mid-April at the latest. We will likely be fully remote again this summer. We've been virtual and at home since March of 2020. We're slated to go back into the office mid-July, but I think a lot of that's going to, how things go with the return to work. While interns are here, they get to work on real assignments and work that actually impact the work that we do as an organization. They get to have opportunities to network, intimate coffee chats with senior leadership, and mentors, and then really kind of learn what a career in healthcare is all about. And we do try to have some fun too, if we can. And I have one more video to show you. Hopefully this one works. And then I'm going to open it up for questions with all of you. Our summer internship program is a 10-week opportunity which brings together a diverse group of undergraduate and graduate students having a wide range of experiences from across the nation. At Blue Shield of California, interns work on real-world projects and initiatives which create a positive impact on our organization and the communities we serve.
So as an undergraduate student, I was really interested in pursuing an internship opportunity that would provide me some professional experience and also allow me to further explore the workforce. I've always been pretty interested in public health, and I really appreciated Blue Shield's active commitment to providing sustainable and affordable healthcare to Californians.
Blue Shield's goal to transform our current healthcare system into one that is worthy of our families and friends is a goal that excites me and gives me a feeling of having a greater purpose than myself.
As cliche as it sounds, I want to make the world a better place, and what better place to do that than a company who truly prioritizes its members and its community before its profits.
One of the things that I'm most surprised is to see how everyone lives by Blue Shield's mission of ensuring that our Californians have access to high quality healthcare at an affordable price, and it's really inspiring to see my coworkers encompassing this ideal in their day-to-day activities.
Not only was this a great opportunity for me to explore one of the amazing careers of Blue Shield, but it has given me more insight of what data analysts do in real-world applications.
What surprised me the most about Blue Shield is their efficient way of essentially helping us out during this pandemic. A lot of times it just takes a little bit more of collaboration and understanding from one another. So I really do appreciate Blue Shield for always being able to help us at any given point in time.
The most important thing I gained from this experience is the experience, and that encapsulates so many things. Meeting people, project work, how different departments interact, development of my personal and professional skills, having guest speakers come and talk, having as many coffee chats as possible with all these different people.
We are living in a time where our children and their children would read about in history books one day. And when I was applying for internships, I wanted to be involved in a company who will be on the right side of history. And now being on the other side and interning for Blue Shield of California, I know they will be.
All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the presentation. I'd love to open it up if you guys have questions about the program. I'm also happy to pop a link into chat with our open positions if anyone's curious and wants to check that out.
I'm sure people are curious about those open positions.
Perfect.
And also, while you do that, just so you know, everybody that's on board here today, if you will please put your questions in the chat. As I mentioned, I sent out in the chat a message just letting you know the reason why you can't turn on your cameras and or sound is that we require everybody to do a release form, a video and audio release form. And we can't ask that of you. And so we ask that you please put your questions in the chat. Okay, I'm monitoring the chat. That's right.
Yeah, perfect.
That's my job.
Yeah,
okay, so yeah, that's my job. So Christian asks, what are your requirements for the internship, like major, grade, standings, etc.?
We're really our kind of two biggest requirements. We don't really have that many. Are you need to be actively enrolled in a university. We do accept students that are graduating, like for example, if you were graduating in May or June of this year, you could still be eligible to be an intern. You need to be actively enrolled in a university. And then we really look for interns to have some kind of working experience. We prefer like 2 years. It doesn't need to be like, you know, like in an office, you know, restaurants, volunteer work. We want just some kind of working experience, and you know that can even be on campus as well.
Okay, thanks, Jessica. Chloe asks, can you choose what area of focus you have as an intern?
Absolutely, Chloe, yes. So like I mentioned, we're hiring about 50 plus interns this summer. We are expecting 11 in HR, 15 in finance, 11 in IT. We have about 6 in our growth, so like our commercial and consumer markets. We have 1 law intern. I'm trying to think if I'm forgetting. We have a affiliate called the Foundation, which is like a nonprofit that is a part of Blue Shield that really supports like ending domestic violence. So it's like its own nonprofit entity within us. Yeah, I think that's all of the internships we have. But yeah, so you can choose, we really encourage you to choose like what area of the business you're interested in and then apply in there, and then you can kind of get exposure to that work.
So we have more questions coming in, but before you answer them, I just want to check with you. Jessica, did we get everything straightened out about the posting the internships in Handshake?
I honestly, Jan, I haven't had a chance to contact Nick about that. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not sure what happened, but somehow the internships weren't posted in Handshake. So it's best to go directly to their website. So let's see, let me go to the next question here. All right, hang on. Okay, so you just, besides HR internship, any recommendations for business management majors?
Business management majors, I would say like finance for sure, like the commercial or consumer growth markets, I think is really going to get, we really have always historically hired like MBAs, BAs in those roles. And I find that those students kind of get a lot out of that. And then in addition to that, probably like finance. There's a lot of like business folks that are interested in our finance opportunities.
Okay, thank you. Grace asks, what kind of qualities are you looking for in an intern?
Great question, Grace. I would say like kind of the values of like Blue Shield, or what I think to me makes like a really stellar candidate is we're all about continuous learning here. So I think coming in with that kind of mindset, being open to learning, being passionate, like being connected to working at a nonprofit, obviously that's very different than working for a for-profit company. And then also just kind of having that growth mindset, I think in general, like, this is a great opportunity for you to learn, to get hands-on experience. And so I guess, yeah, those are the qualities that I would say we look for here.
Okay, thank you. Anthony asks, Anthony just moved. So hang on a second, Anthony. He asked, so we would apply through the link on your website.
Yep, correct.
Yes, as we mentioned,
you can apply for more than one, but I would encourage you to really don't apply like from a recruiter perspective. Pick things that you are actually interested in. I would not apply to all of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Paul asks, would each week in the internship have a consistent work schedule, or is it more project-based?
So you are working 40 hours a week while you're here with us. So it's a full-time. We have like programmatic elements every week. So the program is based on our leadership model, and we have 4 pillars of leadership. So every couple of weeks we do different workshops and events that kind of get you some of that exposure. But the rest of your time you're working with your team on the projects that you are working on. And you also have goals that you are setting, like SMART goals over the summer. So you really get to be a part of the goal setting experience, which is a huge part of the work that we do. And then that's kind of also how we assess you at the end of the summer too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So we have someone asking, I'm curious to know more about Blue Shield helping with grad school.
Yeah, I'd love to answer. So that's Blue Shield will pay for tuition here, whether that is your bachelor's degree, master's degree. I'm sure if you wanted to get your doctorate, they would support that. We have a relationship with the University of Arizona. It was formerly like Ashford, and it's changed. It's entirely online, but you are fully paid for by the company. If you're a non-exempt employee, you have to be here for 6 months. And then if you are an exempt employee, you have to be here for a year in order to utilize that benefit. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
I know, right?
1
you
year.
do have to stay though afterwards. Otherwise you might have to repay them.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You have to stay for how many years, does it say?
I think it's a year. It's only a year because I just looked this up for somebody. Yeah. Which is
wow. That's amazing.
I know.
Okay, so Chloe asks, she has another question. She says, do you have any recommendations for psychology majors?
That's a good question. I think it really depends on like what you want to do with your career, right? I was a sociology major. I ended up in HR. I know they're kind of similar but different. If you're really kind of more into like the social work side, I would check out our health solutions openings because that's more focused on like clinical work on the more healthcare side, if that's really interesting to you.
Okay. Anthony has another question and he says, can we apply for these internship positions even if we're not anywhere near Oakland, California?
Yes, you can. To be an employee and an intern here, you just need to be in the state of California. So that's really, really it. We do have some budget this summer if we are going to do any events in person for traveling. But you do need to be, if there are certain teams, so they just announced this, that certain offices are opening up, like Oakland will open up first. I'm in Sacramento. I'm in an office called El Dorado Hills. My office isn't reopening until September. So I think a lot of that's going to depend on how the reopening goes.
Okay.
Probably more than you guys wanted to know, but yeah.
Well, we have another question from Chloe, and she asks, are the projects a collaborative effort or are they more of an individual project?
That's a good question. I think it depends on the team and the work for our HR internships. And I see someone has a question about that. We call that internally people and engagement. So you should see that on the website. So people and engagement is what our HR team is called. We have a few teams that are having multiple interns. So you'll be doing a project with interns, but for the most part, you'll be working with other people within your team, less with other interns, if that answers the question.
Okay. So Joe has a question. Joe, he says, thanks for the presentation, Jessica. Would you be opposed to us reaching out to you through email to request a 10-minute Zoom with you?
Sure. Yeah, I'm happy to pop my email into the chat. You guys are also welcome to connect on LinkedIn if you would like to.
Okay.
Email is definitely the quickest. Yeah.
Okay, we have another question from Christian. And Christian asks, for the HR internship, what would the job title be? I'm looking on the website and cannot find it.
So that would be people and engagement. That is our HR function here. We have very fancy names for some of our teams. It's HR, basically. It's our people functions. Within our people and engagement, though, I can tell you what the internships are working on if students are curious.
Sure.
2 interns that are going to be in total rewards. So that's like benefits, performance management, that kind of work. We have 3 that are going to be on the talent team. I'm a part of talent. So that's recruiting, talent mobility, talent, like operational hiring, really pretty focused heavily on hiring, onboarding, and getting employees into seats. And diversity, equity, and inclusion is part of that too.
Okay, great.
We have 2 on internal comms, 2 in learning development, and then 2 in our HRBP function. So
a lot of different opportunities.
Yes.
So Emmanuel asks, what do you do in HR? I'm curious because I'm a sociology major as well. I think he must mean, what's your role in HR?
Sure. So how I got my career started, I worked at a gaming company. I really wanted to move up. The position they had available was like an HR role, which also had some recruiting aspects. So I really got into recruiting, which is part of what I do here. And originally what I was hired here for was recruiting. So my job as the internship program manager, I do everything from like recruiting kickoff, running the program, helping interns get converted at the end of the summer, really partnering on our strategy for the program and the business to make sure we're getting the best candidates and the best ROI for all the things that we're doing. And my team runs, like I think I mentioned this earlier, various talent mobility programs throughout the company. We have one called Ready to Lead. That's for non-exempt, like hourly employees. We have different programs for executives. We have some for like managers that are like in the middle, and then some for directors. So as a sociology person, I get to work with people, which I really like. But you kind of get to do that on the recruiting side, which is fun. And I think really strategic work. Happy to answer any other questions you have though about that, Emmanuel, if you want to email me.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. Thanks for sharing all of that.
Sure.
We have some more thank yous on here. And then also, Kaylin asks, are projects also assigned to those who choose the IT positions?
Yeah, so really for our IT folks have a really specific, like all of the IT positions are kind of broken down as well. I'm happy to share what those like functions are within the broader business. We have security, IT security, shared services, enterprise architecture, and healthcare innovation, data and analytics, which has like data science, visualization, and analytics. And then we have 3 interns that are going to be in IT infrastructure. So like your projects would be kind of within those realms, if that answers the question, Keelan.
Okay. I have a question from Nicole, and I'll let you try to make, I'm not exactly sure what she's asking, but I'll let you see if you can answer that. Okay, so stemming off what was said, would you recommend for psychology majors looking to go into the clinical field therapy work?
Well, I would say, Nicole, like, I think it depends if that's like what you're looking to do long term. We have a couple of like roles here that are called community health advocates, and that's really about like helping like people within our communities getting the healthcare that they need, which if that is like something you're interested in doing on like more of that clinical level, that could be really interesting. That work sits in our health solutions department, and we have 2 openings on that team. So that could give you some exposure to what that is like. Again, I'm not sure what your career goals are, but I would say if that's interesting to you, you would probably get some exposure to that from like the health provider side. So that might be helpful.
Yeah, and I'm also thinking that might be a good opportunity for people that are going into public health as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. We hire a lot of folks that are like masters of public health or in public health policy, interested in that kind of work too. Yes.
Okay.
Great call out, Jen. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Does Blue Shield provide any counseling services?
We do have counseling services. That is a benefit we offer to employees. I apologize that I didn't mention that earlier, but we do.
Okay, and but that's internally to employees. Do you offer those services through? Do you contract that out?
Yeah. You mean, like we have like that is a benefit. Like you can, if you're looking for counseling opportunity, like if you're looking for counseling, you can. There's services that we offer for employees as part of. Yeah.
All right. And then let's see. We have another thank you from Nicole and Kaylin. Any more questions, folks? So I'm still checking out the chat here. And there are actually still people that are coming into the session. We left our session open until the actual closing time, because sometimes people are in class and then by the time they get here for the Q&A portion. Sometimes they pop in. Do we have any more questions? And actually, for the person that we just admitted, do you have any questions? If so, you can go ahead and put them in the chat. That's how we're viewing them. Oh, let's see. You mentioned we can connect with your LinkedIn. Can we get a link?
Get a link. I will pop that in here.
Okay, yes.
I will say, if you are interested, I would really encourage you to apply like as soon as possible. We've gotten a ton of interest on our roles right now. So we're looking to potentially take some of those down because like the volume is so high. So if you are interested, I would recommend getting your application in as soon as you can. Let me get my LinkedIn link right now.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and have her put that in there. It's a lot of opportunity for internships. And I think there's a lot of job opportunity there too, because I'm not sure you noticed, students, but when Jessica was kind of describing all her roles, one of the things that she said was that she works on conversion. And I'm not sure if you understand what conversion is. So I'm going to let Jessica explain that to you.
Great call out. Thank you. So while interns are here, obviously a really big piece of that program is converting talent that is eligible at the end of the summer. So, you can kind of think of an internship also like a 10-week interview, right? For us and for you, if this is a good opportunity for you. So we have a goal of converting 50% of our intern cohort. And last year we hit that mark. We hired 54%, which we're excited about, but we're really looking to always increase that number. And as our program is growing, we're looking to just continue to increase that. So that's a really big piece of my job while I'm here, is really partnering with students that are eligible to start working full-time, finding those roles here at Blue Shield. So kind of like Jan said, if you are thinking about like long-term future, wanting to work here, this is a great opportunity to just kind of get your foot in the door. And then that could potentially lead to a full-time job.
Great. So a Christian would like to know, or excuse me, Emmanuel would like to know, when were the dates for the internship as well as times?
Yes. So the program is going to run June 13th through August 12th. And then recruitment's really looking to be like, I think most of our postings will be down by March, but I would say like, again, the sooner the better. I'm not sure, Emmanuel, what you're referring to by times, if you want to clarify that, but.
Yeah. One thing that I'd like to mention that if, and I'm going to ask you, Jessica, actually, this question is, it's a 40-hour-a-week internship.
Correct.
So what happens if students can work for 8 weeks at 40 hours a week, and then all of a sudden they say to you, oh, I can only work 20 hours a week for the month of August?
Um, I think we would try to be accommodating to that schedule. I know that probably wouldn't be like ideal for the managers because that's the commitment that we have with them. They're expecting to have somebody doing work for that time for that long. We do have like internships that are part-time, like in the winter, and we have a couple interns right now that have been extended with us that are still like working in a part-time capacity. But during the program, the expectation is that you'll be working full-time.
Okay, I brought that out specifically because it's something that students, maybe don't think about. And all of a sudden they go, oh, wait, my family said we're going to go away or leave the country for, a few weeks and I can't. So you need to know that you're going to commit to this.
Absolutely.
So if you apply and you go through the interview process, commit to it. If there is a short period of time, and I mean a lot shorter than 2 weeks, where you're going to need a little bit of flexibility, let them know up front if you already know that. If you throw that at a supervisor at the end, they're not going to be happy with that because they have an expectation level of what can be completed in a certain time frame. So for any internship, this is the same. And for most any companies, like she said, we'll try to be flexible, but there's a certain level of expectation. So if it's not the right time for you, apply another time. Apply during the academic year or apply in next summer when you're really ready to commit to it. Okay, let's see. We already answered the question about are the internships only in Oakland? They are, as you noticed, what she said earlier, Jessica shared that these are remote internships. You just need to be in the state of California.
Yeah, and that's for payroll purposes. So you just need to be in California.
Okay, and let's see, we had, our interviews held through Zoom.
Yes, interviews will be on Zoom. We use Zoom and Teams internally. Teams is kind of like Slack, but for Microsoft. So everything will be held over Zoom, which I'm sure we're all very used to now.
Okay, I got a little clarity from Emmanuel. He said, sorry, I meant like, what time do we need to go into work and what time do we leave work?
So I would say, like you can kind of work with your manager on when, like what your hard 8 hours are, but anytime between like 8 and 9, you would start and then wrap up your day between like 4 and 5. There were interns I know that had to got up, she would start early because she needed to be off by 3. She would start at 7. It's really between you and your manager, but you need to be available for like program events and team meetings. So kind of to Jan's point, being available when you need to be, but really you can kind of work with your manager on like what those set hours are for you.
Okay, I see there's a question from Christian, and I think, Christian, we already answered this question about what do you expect to do for work and what kind of projects you're working on. Read the job description, and I think it'll clarify things for you. And then we have a question from Tanya. And I realized that somebody came in later and I don't remember what their name is, so I'm sorry if I'm saying something. But Tanya also, these are remote internships.
Mm-hmm.
You do not need to be in Oakland, California.
No. If you are looking to be converted and be brought on full time, I would think about if you're trying to be in a different office. We have offices all over California though. We have a couple up in the Sacramento area. We have a few down south, like Woodland Hills, San Diego, El Segundo. With quite a few. So you really I would recommend being somewhat close to one of them if you want to be a full-time employee here. So you can, whenever we are back, if there are meetings, it's not totally a nightmare for you to go to them if you need to.
Right. And remember, Woodland Hills is in our backyard. So
yeah,
it is. And El Dorado is in Sacramento area, right?
Yes. Yeah. It's in the Sacramento area. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I went to school at UC Davis, so I know.
Oh, okay. Then you're familiar. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Let's see. The next question was, can we apply to more than one position?
Yes, you can. I would also say make sure that you're like qualified for those positions, and again that you're interested in them from a recruiting standpoint. I wouldn't recommend applying to all of them. That's just not really a good look from a candidate perspective. So I would recommend just applying for those that you're really interested in and you think you're qualified for.
You're not going to be qualified for everything.
Right.
So keep that in mind. That's why it's not a good look.
Yeah.
And also the other thing that I'm going to put, I'm going to say to you, when you're writing your cover letter, and you will write a separate cover letter for this internship than you write for the part-time job that you have on campus. I will tell you that many times I get cover letters that say, to the university library. And I'm like, no, I work at the Career Center. It happens all the time to me, or in the objective at the resume. If they have an objective statement, it says to the University Student Union. I'm like, no, we're the Career Center. So I want you to pay attention to the students. I'm just giving you a little educational piece, because if you really want a job at Blue Shield, you need to be focused on Blue Shield and talk about why do you want to work for them. It's really important to know why, and not just why you want to work in general. Okay, so let's see. Any more questions coming in? I don't see any more. We'll give you like 1 minute. Does Blue Shield offer part-time work?
Pretty rare. I think I kind of said this earlier. We do have a couple of interns that have stayed on in a somewhat part-time capacity. But again, we're really trying to make sure those are like the right decisions for the business and the candidate. We are looking to potentially go year round at some point. So I would imagine some of those internships could be part-time, but in terms of like full-time positions, it's pretty rare to see a full-time job. And if they are there, if they are available, it's typically like for pharmacy or like our phone support lines. So those are really the only two roles that I've ever seen be part-time.
Okay, that was a good question.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone else have a question before we wrap? Good questions from this crowd.
Seriously, really good questions.
You know what? I have to say that we've had really good student engagement.
That's awesome.
With students asking lots of questions. Once they got over the first day, or the first half of the first day, they got more comfortable and they just started asking the questions. So I'd like to say thank you to Jessica for coming to you. Oh, wait, hold on. One more question here. Is it okay to have no prior work experience, and any tips if we don't? Okay.
So I think I maybe mentioned this earlier. We do like to have like our really kind of only two requirements for interns are that they're enrolled in school and then that they've had some work experience. We like to have that on like the 2-year side. I would encourage you, if you don't have that experience, well, one, to maybe get some exposure to that, whether that's like, again, like restaurant, on campus, what have you. But also like if you have volunteering or other community service stuff you've done, or like if you were part of a sports team or club or any other kind of affiliation that could potentially be seen as work, really like highlighting that and showcasing that you've taken on additional responsibilities, right? I think that's really what we're looking for at the end of the day, and showing that you're kind of a really driven person that is looking to kind of get their foot in the door here.
Okay. Emmanuel asks, so this internship helps us if we want to get a full-time job at Blue Shield and for the future.
It can, absolutely. I definitely think it gives you an edge, a leg up. This really internships are kind of like a long interview. So it can certainly help you within getting placing here at the company, if that's what you're looking for.
And also, I will say the more internship experience that you have, the better it is for you. So if Emmanuel, if you had an internship in another company and they're reviewing your resume, they can see, okay, this person took on this level of responsibility. So if it weren't necessarily a job, you can demonstrate your internship experience. And you definitely would put that in your resume.
For sure. Absolutely. Yeah, like club activities, I see that question too. Like if you were a part of a club, or like I've worked with interns that were like on the ran are part of their sororities or fraternities, like any kind, or like sports that they've done. I would encourage you to highlight that and show that you've been involved and working on other stuff too. I think that can help you kind of stand out, whether that's here or at other companies you're looking for internships for.
And as she mentioned, so lots of thanks going out to you. I just want you to know from our students. And again, Jessica, thank you for being here today. We really appreciate you being part of Internship Week and having a chance to connect directly with our students. And we look forward to meeting with you again. And students, just so FYI, we have one more day left for Internship Week, and that's tomorrow. Tomorrow we have 4 different sessions. And of course, now I didn't refresh my memory as to what they were. But we have the Hispanic Association of Colleges and Universities. They have a national internship program that I'm guessing they're still doing remotely. So if you don't want to go to Washington, D.C. or Minnesota or Wyoming, you probably won't be doing that right now. We also have a variety of other events tomorrow, and that is a navigating a virtual career fair, because our career fair is on next Thursday, the March 10th. And we also have ENJ Gallo internship program. So if you're interested in working with a spirits company, please come check us out tomorrow. And finally, last but not least, we have Getty Marrow Multicultural Internship. So Getty Marrow is J. Paul Getty was a famous billionaire. Maybe he was a millionaire back then. It was a long time ago, but he has donated a lot of his money. There's a Getty Museum, if you've heard of it. The Getty Museum, we have Getty Villa, and we also have Getty on the 405. So what they do each year is they offer museum jobs, part-time jobs and internships for the summer. And they're at museums all over LA County. And there are so many museums in LA County. We're big, and we have everything from Natural History Museum to a Modern Art Museum to little museums that deal with sea life. So aquariums and sea life. So if you're interested in working at a museum, and remember, it's not necessarily just a curatorial internship. It could be in marketing. It could be in all different fields. So sign up for that. Okay, so you saw the chat in the chat there from Jessica. Did you see that last? I'm sorry, I missed the chat. The last.
No worries. Yeah. This is my email.
Okay. So anyway, check out the chat for her email, and we're going to wrap it up for today. So thanks so much for you for coming today, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye, everyone. And thank you, Jessica.
Of course. Thank you so much, Jan, and students. It was a pleasure meeting with you guys today, and thanks for all the great questions. I appreciated it. Have a good rest of your internship week. Sounds so fun.
Bye-bye.